Well, looky here. We've got a bunch of Week 10 buy lows on the screen. We've got a bunch of Week 10 players to buy medium rare. I'm not even sure you can buy some of these guys even medium. You might have to buy them at their fair market value, but are they worth it? I'll tell you right now, some of them are. And then we've got Kenneth Walker news, some concerning news, but you have Charbonnet. You shouldn't be worried about it unless you didn't listen to your boy and you drafted Walker by himself. And a lot of you have Charbonnet anyway. Now, he's not ruled out. We'll go over what's going on with Kenneth Walker. But Monty back at practice. Deebo back at practice. You see why Deebo's been on my buy low list for weeks. Out for week number 10, JJ and Justin Fields, the Fantasy Football Show News Edition, 8 p.m. edition, Monday through Friday edition begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show.
Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
So quite a bit of news to go over today, but also a lot of buy low targets, players you need to go get right here, right now, walking into week 10 before it's too late. Usually we don't have this many buy low candidates, or in some cases you're buying at a good price. You're not buying low. I kind of hate when people say you can't buy low on Achane right now. His owners have been waiting forever, Smitty. Why would anybody give up Achane? The world revolves around me. And if I can't get him in my league, no one can get him, Smitty. I get sick and tired of that because guess what? Creative trades happen all the time. And there's a reason I don't have one player on this list. Hey, go get Achane and that's it. Because I realize not every one of these players is available in said league. You might not be able to get Achane in your league. And that sucks for you. Really, because he's going to be a top 5 running back going forward. But you can buy Pollard. You can buy potentially Bijan. You can buy Ridley, Devonta Smith, Deebo Samuel, Taylor, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, Tua Tagovailoa. Deebo Samuel news coming at you right now. Let's get to that while we're on the topic of Deebo. Deebo is full participant in practice Wednesday. He's back, baby. And I think he's coming for everyone. I think Deebo Samuel will be potentially the glue they try to throw at this Niners chaos that they got going on in San Francisco. They need to do something. Brock Purdy needs short passes, design Deebo Samuel plays to help get his confidence back on track and to get the Niner offense humming. And I think that, Christian McCaffrey is going to be utilized a ton, but I do believe this is a key to getting the offense back on track. And then you've got offensive line injury concerns right now, so there will be a lot of potential short, quick hit design plays to Deebo so that they can focus on protecting Brock Purdy. Because if Trent and the line are banged up, they're worried about a concussion. They're worried about Brock Purdy getting rushed. They're worried about Brock Purdy holding onto the football. I can almost guarantee you they're coming out strong with Deebo Samuel. A big, huge game in week number 10. Let's buy him. Let's do him now. Let's get this now. The stock is up. Deebo on the rise. Deebo to the moon. Love the man this week. Go get him.
To the moon.
Let's go. Let's roll. Tony Pollard. Actually, let's get to the news real quick. David Montgomery. Full participant in practice today. That ain't a bad thing. I know everybody's excited about Gibbs to the point where they're depressed about Monty coming back, but we don't want Monty not there, keeping defenses honest, getting this man Gibbs the football in actually good, possession type situations where he's getting a little almost like a scat back carry where defense is spread out. He gets the handoff. He gets a draw play. He gets 4, 5, 6 receptions. Let's do it live for Jahmyr Gibbs in week number 10. Week number 12. Where am I at? I let the script out already. I let the script loose. Oh my God. I was looking at the Week 12 schedule, by the way, a few days ago, just to get my mitts on it. I think Gibbs is a great go-get player, and Gibbs actually should be on this list as well. and let me put him on here real quickly and make sure it's known, because his owners are tempting like fate right now. They literally want to put this man on the bench. I can't tell you how many times someone said something crazy like, Smitty, should I bench Gibbs for blah, blah, blah? And it's been an awful like alternative. It's like a running back 3. It's a low end flex play. It's something like Chuba Hubbard like type of value. It's been awful. Hey Smitty, in my flex, should I go Jahmyr Gibbs or should I put in Michael Wilson, who's banged up in Arizona? It's insane that people are constantly talking about this guy, being a player that no one's gonna send out there in their contest. I'm getting sick and tired of people just valuing him at horrible value. So hold on, let me pull up. So I had something that somebody sent me. I want to see if I can pull this up. This is a trade offer someone sent me. I won't say names, but it was absolutely awful. It was, what was it? I think it's right here. It's Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs for Nico Collins. That's look, I like Nico. I'm not saying Nico's not a good player. I'm not saying Nico can't have a solid go forward season. I'm not saying Nico and Tank Dell won't rotate. But why are we giving up a player like Gibbs, who just exploded, just became a running back 1 in everyone's mind, for a wide receiver 3? That's the value I'm seeing over and over and over. Somebody said Kareem Hunt and Jahmyr Gibbs. Birdman's joking right here, but I got this question like 4 times today. Kareem Hunt, Jahmyr Gibbs. I got that question 4 times, Birdman. I'm telling you. And this one right here. And this one's a little bit more like on the lines of, okay, there's a defense here because White just had a big game. This one I'm okay with you asking. And honestly, you wouldn't be crazy to go Rachaad White. He's been doing fantastic things. D. Smith or Pollard. I'm going to take Pollard, broski. All day long. Olave or Deebo and B-Rob, I'm going to go probably... Look, Deebo is tempting, my guy. Deebo is very tempting, in my opinion. Go grab Deebo at that value. I think Deebo over Olave is kind of smart right now. Just a little bit. But I love Olave. That is not a knock on Olave. That's merely a preference of what I believe to be 2 low-end wide receivers that are completely disrespected across the board. That's just my preference. But I like Deebo and Olave. I'm actually buying Olave low still. Olave deserves to be on this list. And that's a great question. You're asking me 2 buy low players. Let's put Olave on this list. He absolutely should be bought low. Olave to the moon. Olave right here. I'll move this David Montgomery news out of the way. We'll put Olave right in this corner. Look, this list is going to grow as the live stream moves along. Again, JJ is not going to play week number 10. It was said earlier that he was elevated, the 21-day practice window opened up, and the team has 21 days to activate him. And then this news came out pretty much right after, saying this is from Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell, saying that a little aggressive to think that JJ could play Sunday versus the Saints, though he can't wait to get back out there. This is just, par for the course. We knew he probably wasn't going to be back the first game. It was the 4-game IR. Would he be elevated right that 5th game back? And we knew that the odds were probably not good, because there was a report that came out right after he hit IR and was out for 4 games that they were going to reevaluate and do some scans after 4 weeks time to see if there was healing. So you can't even have rehabbed it properly and become even full go or ready, game ready, or like the risk of re-injury is massive if he was not going to practice and ramp up and try and get to a certain level of strength. He would have went out and just retore something if he just went straight go. Okay, have the scans. Okay, now let's play 3 days later. That's not how it works. So he needs to ramp up. There's even a slight possibility that JJ could miss one more game, and then they have a bye week in, what is it, what is the bye week? Week 11 or week 12 for the Vikings. Justin Jefferson, his bye week is, let's pull it up here just to be safe. Bye week 13. So bye week or week 10 he's out. Week 11 he should come back. Week 12 Chicago, then the bye week 13. So there's probably, unless he suffers a setback, no way he's sitting out through the bye week. That was one concern a lot of us had if the team was losing, if Joshua Dobbs was not traded for. If they didn't trade for Joshua Dobbs, it would be probably say goodbye to JJ coming back until at least after the bye week, if ever. This team trading for Joshua Dobbs gives them a fighting chance, and that means that I think JJ is motivated to come back. So if he sits out week 10 against the New Orleans Saints, comes back at Denver, and is kind of on a snap count to a degree, but maybe scores a touchdown, has 40 yards, maybe has 70 yards total. Expect it to be a bland first game back. Then he has Chicago in week number 12. That should be potentially his good game, his solid game. So expect that to potentially be that bounce back game right before the bye week. And I don't know that he'll be 100%. Then he'll probably go into the bye week, come out of the bye week 100%. That would be my guess as far as what to expect for JJ. And that puts you in kind of a bind if you're counting on him. Like a lot of people, may have sold a lot to go get him, and it was a buy low situation, but it was not a buy high situation. Some people would send me offers where they were getting rid of like an Achane and another player to go get JJ, and it was the opposite for me. I wanted Achane over JJ, almost even straight up. Even right now, I probably would take Achane and a small piece over JJ. Even JJ being now in this situation where there's a 21-day practice window, he could be elevated at any moment. Probably won't be this week, but probably will be next week. I still want Achane, maybe even straight up over JJ, because what good is he going to be to you if he's mediocre walking into the bye week, coming out of the bye week? You might not even have playoff hopes at that point if you're in that position. So it's kind of tough because now he's back. You don't even really get him for maybe at least 2, maybe 3 weeks, and then maybe the 4th week because of the bye. It's kind of a mess. But he was a good buy low, but you had to have bought him low. This one right here kind of hurt because some people, including myself, expected Fields to really be set up to play week number 10, the Thursday night matchup. And then all of a sudden this news broke that he's doubtful and he's not going to play. That was kind of a strange one. I don't know if there was a setback. I don't know if they're just saying, let's get this Bajan character one more chance. I don't know what the rationale is there. He's throwing missiles in practice. Maybe they weren't. Maybe he still had a lot of pain. Who knows? But he was throwing missiles in practice, and this was before last week kicked off. So there's thought that he could have maybe played last week, and they just wanted to do the old, okay, let's give him one more week to let Bajan go out there and maybe create a controversy that they could afford to have. But that didn't happen. I mean, Bajan was good and bad, but a lot of bad, and he proved he's not really that guy. But I don't know what's going on with this, and there's definitely some concern. Short week didn't help. I think if it was Sunday, he probably would have a much greater chance of suiting up. Thursday doesn't help. Thursday game doesn't help, although Thursday games have been better. So that's kind of the news in a nutshell, minus this last piece here. Oh, Deebo Samuel, full participant, so buy low. This one's kind of like the concerning one, but you really have no excuse if you don't have Walker and Charbonnet together, because this is like one of the talking points of the offseason. And most of you that don't own Kenneth Walker, about 80-90% of you have Zach Charbonnet, because it's one of the things I say every single day, every single week leading into the season, and certainly every single waiver wire show. Every single waiver wire show, the 2 preemptive shows and every single waiver wire show that followed, we've said do not leave Zach Charbonnet on your waiver wire. He's a sleeping giant, and if he gets injected into the lineup, he could win a league. And all of you that don't own Kenneth Walker, I'd say 80% of you own Zach Charbonnet.
Mashed potatoes.
Yeah, buddy.
Where's my Zach Charbonnet graphic when I need it?
Get Charbonnet. Pop open a nice bottle of Charbonnet.
Now, I don't want to celebrate Kenneth Walker being injured by any means. I'm merely celebrating this man in this moment if he is injected into the lineup. Now, the news is not so bleak that Kenneth Walker's out, but he's sitting out with a chest injury. Not that that is likely the biggest deal in the world, but Kenneth Walker has been dealing with the calf, the chest. Who knows what is really going on with the guy, and it could just be a maintenance day as well. I don't want anybody in here sitting here thinking I don't love Kenneth Walker. I love Kenneth Walker. I absolutely love him. He's a monster. He's an absolute menace for defenses, and he's a touchdown machine. And Pete Carroll loves him, and Pete Carroll trusts him, and Pete Carroll's going to feed him touchdowns anytime they're inside the 5 or 10 yard line. It's all Kenneth Walker season right inside that zone. But this is a player that has been banged up. This is a player that isn't getting the full workload, and he's heeding some of the carries and way and path to Zach Charbonnet, so there is some concern moving forward. He has been on this show talk of sell high if you can. Don't get rid of him on the cheap because I love him so much. But there's a lot of 3 weeks before Eckler was coming back, 2 weeks before Eckler was coming back, 1 week before Eckler was coming back that I specifically said, go get Eckler for Walker. Walker was playing at a high enough level. Eckler was easily attainable 1-for-1 for Walker, playing amazingly for Eckler, who had 2 weeks, before he could return to football. And then it was 1 week, and then it started to be kind of even value. Walker versus Eckler, kind of tough to do 1-for-1 at that point, 1 week away. So that was really the main person I wanted to trade across for, but I don't want anybody to think I don't still root and cheer for Kenneth Walker and think that Kenneth Walker could be a top 5 running back going forward. If Kenneth Walker's on the field healthy and fed, he's a top 5 running back. But the problem is if you don't own Zach Charbonnet, if he sits for whatever reason, and this is worse than we think, there's other issues and they're not telling us everything, and Zach Charbonnet goes in there, Charbonnet will be an absolute monster per start if he's leaned upon. And I don't know that he's not taking the job from Walker, but he certainly is carving out already a big share, an uncomfortable share of the workload. So it's something to be concerned about. Now, do I sell Walker for pennies on the dollar? Absolutely not. Do I trade him straight across for Tony Pollard? We had that question earlier, and I think I wavered on it. At this moment, I think I would. I think if I can take Walker and turn him into Pollard, it's a safety mechanism. It's a safety move. If I can take Kenneth Walker and turn him into Bijan, I might actually do it because Bijan's not injured right now, and But I'd try and get more because I could. Would I give up a little bit more to turn Walker into Achane? You bet your bottom dollar. Would I take a little more to turn Kenneth Walker into Taylor by giving up just a smidge more? You bet your bottom dollar I would. Would I trade Walker straight up for Cooper Kupp? Probably, just to keep things safe and real. All these buy lows right here. Not every one of them. I mean, obviously Ridley, Devonta Smith, and Deebo and Gibbs and Olave and Tua and maybe Puka, maybe. I mean, it just depends on how your team's built. But those guys, I don't throw 1-for-1 for Walker, but I might do complicated 2-for-2s or 2-for-1s where I'm getting 2 players. I'm getting a Gibbs and Puka. I'm getting a Devonta Smith and maybe a player like Gibbs potentially if I have the running back support. I've got an Eckler and I've got a Achane coming back. And I've got Walker, and he's expendable for a wide receiver. Why you would trade Kenneth Walker for Cooper Kupp straight up. Why you would trade Kenneth Walker for Gibbs and Devonta Smith. Why you would trade Kenneth Walker for Bijan and Deebo and give up something small on that side to make the 2-for-2 balanced enough for the owner to get it done and to hit the execute button. So these are the buy lows walking into week number 10. And if you don't act now, you may not get them. We've never really seen this many. We've never really seen this many players at a buy low, a very nice buy low or nice price tag value, I think, last this long walking into the season. It's kind of like head scratching. This season is very, very weird. But all these guys are aggressively attainable. And I think it's there's pros and cons to making moves like this. So you got to know your own team. You got to know what you need. You got to be cognizant of what can help you win a championship. You have to not be reckless. You can't be an overreactive Oscar. You can't be a petrified Peter. You have to make a smart trade. This is not something that that anybody should just, throw to the wind. Like, hey, I'm just going to get rid of Kenneth Walker and take the first thing sent my way. And then what am I going to do? I'm going to get mad. And I'm going to tell you, you made a grave mistake. You made an absolute travesty of a mistake. And your team is not going to win if you do something like that. So don't go out there and do something stupid. Check with me. Get into the live stream. Ask us, and we'll go ahead and handle it. Let me go ahead and drop this on screen. This is the schedule for week number 10. It has the bye weeks at the bottom. Don't forget, this is one of the worst bye week weeks in fantasy football. Bye week 10, there is a lot of underdog fantasy. Promo code Smitty. They'll double your first deposit up to $100 if you hit this link I'm dropping in the live chat right this very second. Let me drop it in there. Do I even have it copied yet? I don't. Let me grab this. Play Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty. There it is right there. They'll double your first deposit up to $100, and we'll draft maybe tomorrow night, maybe tonight, but probably tomorrow night, the next night. We're going to draft in week 10 only contest. But this is why some people in the weeklies targeted week 10. They drafted their entire team to try and win this week 10 here, because Philly would be on a bye. All the Eagle players, Hurts, Devonta Smith, A.J. Brown, Swift, the Miami Dolphin players, Hill and Tua, and the running back stable that they got, and Waddle, and that Kyren and Puka and Kupp, and Mahomes and Pacheco and Kelsey and Kadarius Toney. Just kidding. Would all be out for this week. This is going to be a bland Sunday. Let's just put it that way. It's going to be a pretty boring morning slate of games, might I add. Maybe some guys explode and give us some excitement, but there's definitely going to be, it's going to be a weak little Sunday. It's going to feel very, very bland. But, some of these guys like Mahomes, and I should put Mahomes on here as well. Mahomes for sure is a buy. He's not a buy low, but he's a buy. Like there's a big difference between buying low and buying. And Mahomes still deserves to be talked about as a player to go get. And you're getting him like cheaper than normal. So he, in all intents and purposes, is a buy low. It's buy lower than normal. Mahomes on the screen. Tua Tagovailoa, got him on here. Kyren Williams needs to be on here as well. Kyren's a fantastic go get player. And his owners probably, they've waited this long. They're going to be very stubborn to get rid of him. But people get punched in the mouth, in week 9, 10, and their plan doesn't look so good anymore, and they're staring one more loss in the face, and then they're out of the playoff hunt. They might get rid of Kyren. These are all outstanding buy players right now. Not just buy lows, buy players for week number 10. And know your bye weeks, know all your matchups, get it done, fix your team, bring your challenge or dilemma into the live chat, and we'll do it live. This is the first super chat of the evening, and that always gets a standing O in this house.
Let's go, mashed potatoes!
That's my boy KH3. Trade Brees and JT for Eckler, Adams, and McBride. I would take Eckler, Adams, and McBride. No disrespect to Brees Hall, who is also another buy low, by the way. I think Brees Hall needs to be on this list. Because, he's coming off a very disappointing outing, but it's not because of him, it's because of his offense. But his situation is really, it is what it is. And so anybody that is trying to say, well, it's not his fault, doesn't really matter, right? It matters what his perception's reality. He lives in a world where he's not getting carries consistently, and that's a problem. So Brees Hall is absolutely a player we want to go get and buy low. But in this situation that KH3 has, it's a smash. It's a win a league move. Trade Brees and JT for Eckler and Adams. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it live. Ron Navy with a $20 hauler. Ron Navy, appreciate you with the first 20 watt on the screen tonight.
Alert. Super chat alert.
$20 hauler. Ron says, welcome to week number 10. Appreciate you. This is a $2 hauler. Traded Bijan and Mostert for Kupp and Gibbs. Bijan and Mostert, yeah. I mean, look, it is what it is. Doesn't mean we hate Bijan. Doesn't mean we're not buying Bijan. But that particular trade is a freaking smash of a situation. Eckler for Monty and Adams. maybe flip Monty into Achane. If you could guarantee me you have Achane and Adams at the end of this, I smash the hell out of that. But do I like Eckler over Monty and Adams? That one's close, near 50-50. I guess if you're winning with Eckler and your team's built to win with Eckler and you're fine, why make a move? But Monty coming back, probably going to get touchdowns, probably still going to look really good. Adams, I think, thrives in the new regime with the new quarterback and coaching and GM combination, the trio, the three amigos get replaced. I'm very excited about Adams. And Adams needs to be on here. What am I doing? Adams is probably one of my best buy lows, and I don't even have him on the screen here. Adams is 100% one of my best buy lows. These glasses, these blue light blocking glasses, they make everything the same color, and I can't even see like anything when I have them on with like the darkness that I have around my desk, and my keyboard's not lit up. Actually, I have a light here. My keyboard's not as lit up. The super chats, the different colors of super chats, because they are different colors on my screen. They're all the same color. Even when I take the glasses off, they're all still the same color for a little while because the blue light blocking. I usually wear these blue light blocking or these blue light blocking. I try and mix it up a little bit. Eckler, if nothing's broken, no need to fix it. But Adams to the moon, one of the best buy low players in week number 10, period. And we're gonna put that on screen right here. Let's move this all over here. We'll move Swift over here. We'll move Ridley over here, and then we'll move Mahomey over here. Kyron right here. Let's see if we can squeeze Breece Hall right there and Devonta Adams right there. There we go. Nice and smooth. Nice job. It could go either way. The trade's an amazing trade construction. I like that a lot. Who will terrorize my opponent as a second flex? Hopkins, my first flex. Dell, McBride, or JSN? I mean, at this point, bro, like JSN's a little banged up, but I think he'll probably be fine, but we'll find out more. But Senior Rojo, what does Dell have to do? What's Dell have to do to get into your lineup? What did Dell ever do to you? Huh? I mean, Dell's looking like an absolute monster, and he goes out. The only way you're asking this question is if you didn't start him last week, which isn't your fault because he is tough to play sometimes, but he's a ride and die player. So Dell to the freaking moon. He's a ride and die player, meaning you can't sit him. You got to play him almost all the time, or you end up burning yourself because you end up waiting on him, and then you don't wait long enough. Then you sit him on the bench, and then boom, he blows up, and then you're pissed off at him. Then you hate him, and then you hate his guts. And you think, oh, why did I ever draft this guy? I don't ever have him in the lineup at the same time. But you can't sit somebody because of last week's decision. Okay, so make sure you're not sitting him because you benched him last week. Make sure that that's not how you're thinking, because that could definitely burn you, bro. That could definitely be a bad decision. Okay, let's move. I'm moving all these players over just to give myself some more real estate here. Okay. Next super chat. Thank you, Senor Rojo. You are the man. Young with the $2 hauler. Jags or Steelers defense? Jags are they're at home, right? They're at home. Yeah, San Francisco at home. Jags versus Brock Purdy, a.k.a. Turdy, or Steelers defense. Look, love it. A mixed bag on this one. I'd probably say give me. Maybe Brock struggles again. You know, because like we haven't seen Brock bounce back. I think Shanahan's going to mask some of it. I don't think Brock Purdy's really. I don't think he's done, but I think he's on shaky ground. Like he needs to do well in this game, and he could, and he might not. It could go either way. I think the Jags are going to try and rattle them. I think this could be a surprising game, either direction. Pittsburgh is at home. Green Bay's got their groove back a little bit. I know Love struggled, but then delivered. He's kind of done that. He's like T-Law in that way. So, ironically, both quarterbacks are in each of the games. T-Law, will he scrape by and do well? Will Jordan Love scrape by and win? I'd probably say give me the Pittsburgh D. I just think that the Niners might screw up, and let's say they lose the game, but will they screw up all game long? I don't know. So I'm going to say give me the Pittsburgh D between those two. Appreciate you, Young. John, appreciate you with the super chat. Let me pull up the live stream on this iPad here so I can see any YouTube exclusive membership questions. I can't see that on my system, so bear with me. Let me pull that up and drop the live chat on screen here. Here we go. Okay.
How's the chicken with the problem?
How's the chicken? There we go. Okay. I was offered Jahan Dotson for Taysom Hill. Either side is good, bro. You need a wide receiver, makes sense. You need a tight end or a quarterback because he plays super flex quarterback for you if you need him to. I could get behind either side. This is an even Steven trade. Your position of need should determine whether you make the move or not. So not getting got on either side. $5 holler. Do I trade Kamara and Hollywood for Devonta Adams? Do I trade Kamara and Hollywood for Devonta Adams and Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet? I would take Devonta Adams, Kenneth Walker, and Charbonnet, and I would run. And look, with the risk involved with this Seattle Seahawk running back situation that I think is in some ways overblown because it's a chest injury. Now, granted, if it's a rib we'll find out more, a chest injury usually is not a big deal. It can be. It just depends on what is exactly injured, how severe it is. Is it ribs? Is it what's going on? Is it cartilage? I'm not concerned. It feels like a maintenance day for Kenneth Walker, but there is still some uncertainty with volume. There's still some uncertainty with how much Charbonnet is involved. And so for that, you have a dilemma when you're talking Kamara versus Walker, but you're getting Charbonnet, which is great. But Devonta Adams in his own right could equal Kamara if all goes well. So that's a pretty big smash for me. I'm going to do that trade. Appreciate your super chat. This one's from Michael Smith. Devin Singletary, Tajay Spears for Kyron Williams and Herbert. I take Kyron Williams and I run, bro. This isn't even close. This is a lambasting.
Got him.
I mean, Kyron was a top 5 running back. I don't think that's going to change when he comes back. At least he'll be in the 4 to 7 range. My Terry Dell for Adams. Look, I love Dell, but this is not close either. I take Adams.
You've just been Smitty.
Some of these are cakewalk. Syndicate. Is Roshan still worthy of a stash? Would you stash Charbonnet instead? Charbonnet shouldn't be on waivers, Syndicate. I only say it every single day. Every single day, Syndicate. Charbonnet is always over Roshan. If you're in stealth mode, you're waiting for a sleeping giant. Like, there was a time where he was rising up. We thought he was going to start, but he's not in that situation. Roshan has retracted like a turtle in a shell and has not been in starting position for quite some time. So this is both a backup sleeping giant type of evaluation, and Charbonnet crushes him. So, Syndicate, the answer is Charbonnet. I'm sorry I sent you on a lap. I think you got thick skin. I don't think it bothers you. Syndicate to the moon. Thank you, Syndicate, for being a good sport. Drop JSN, Pickens, Watson, or Rice for Charbonnet. At least you're trying to rectify it now. At least you're trying to fix your wrong. Right your wrong. I would probably say drop Rice if I had to. I'm not dropping Watson. I know everybody else wants to. I'm not dropping Watson. JSN isn't exactly locked in to the production yet. He needs a big injury to really open the door, but he's league winning. He's got the league winning potential, so I just want to hold on to him. Pickens, I'm not ready to give up on Pickens, but Pickens is definitely, crapping his bed hardcore right now with his situation. But I would definitely say that Rice feels like the targets are not there. He's targeted an amazing amount per route run. That's like in the top 10 in the NFL, right around there. But there's still not a lot of targets. So my Ford or Hunt for either James Cook or Zach Moss. I'd probably rather keep the the Cleveland backfield and just roll with Ford. I think Ford's solid. That's a tough one. I mean, James Cook it's hard to trust him, but if you like James Cook, I don't mind that. That's an even Steven trade. I just kind of like Ford a little bit and Hunt, and if one goes down, then the other is going to be pretty solid. Kittle, Addison for Deebo. It depends on your tight end situation. I assume you've got like a Kincaid, so then I would smash it. Certainly depends on the tight end situation, though. What do you do with Kenneth Walker? Viral, I'm sure you heard my long rant on it, so I don't need to beat a dead horse on that topic anymore than to just say, try and do these trades. Walker for Kupp, Walker for Achane, Walker for Taylor. In some cases, you give up a little more. Some cases, you don't need to. Walker for even Kyren Williams, if you want to take a little bit of a gamble. That's not a bad move. Walker for Devonta Adams is one of the most fantastic ways to approach that situation, because people need RBs bad. And if you got even two, if you got Kyren coming back or Achane coming back, you got another RB, and you can send off Walker for Adams. It's a safe move if you want to do it. You don't necessarily need to get rid of him either, because no one's saying he's done. You know, I'm not saying he's garbage. We just discard him with the trash. I mean, he still has a lot of upside. Jay, appreciate you. Got offered Achane for Swift and Pickens, but I have Achane. I don't care what you have Achane in another league. You're getting offered Achane for Swift and Pickens, and Swift is, we love him. We loved him all offseason, but we're being honest every single week. We don't hold a value on a player because we like someone in the offseason. We adjust and adapt, and Swift seems like he's tailing a little bit. And why would you not take a top 5 running back? That's my biggest buy low. I don't care what your other grandma league's doing, Jay. You do it, and you do it live.
To the moon.
Thank you, Jay, for the super chat. Appreciate you. DJ Meat Missile coming in, dropping the missile on screen. 6 and 3.5 QB Hurts. Running backs are Walker, Stevenson, Achane, Kyren, Herbert. Wide receivers are Hill, Lamb, DJ, Flowers, Kincaid, Hill. Cowboys, thoughts on a trade? I like your team a lot. Again, Walker for some of these ideas makes sense. You've got Kyren and Achane, and you're 6 and 3. You could afford to abandon Walker for Adams if you wanted. You could afford to trade Walker and DJ more for. I mean, you could probably get Tyreek Hill, especially on a bye week. So that's the move I would make. I mean, you've got this ability to do this and sidestep out of Walker and get that Adams, get that Cooper Kupp, get that potential Kyren and Devonta Smith combo, or Deebo and Kyren combo. You can get, or you got Kyren, Breece Hall and potentially Deebo combo. But I really like the idea of going and getting Tyreek Hill. Meat Missile. Go do it live. Laughing, appreciate your $5 hauler. 10-man, 0.5, 1 QB, 1 flex. Dak, Kyler, Henry, Aaron Jones, James Cook, Achane. Good team, and he moves 4 and 5. I mean, hopefully Kyler steps up big for you. I mean, Dak, you could play Dak to be safe. I don't mind that. I think that could be a decent move for the first, go, and then kind of play it by ear with Kyler. But I think Aaron Jones and Achane are going to be just fine for you. Where I maybe move is Henry for Adams, Henry for Devonta Smith and something. Henry to move for potentially, I mean, you could go after a quarterback upgrade if you want. You could go get Mahomes. You could send Dak and Henry for Mahomes. Those are moves I would potentially make with your team, my boy. I like it. Nice job. T-Ben's in the building. T-Ben says, Gibbs for Laporta, a smash? No. Gibbs, Cooper Kupp for Puka Laporta? No. I mean, they're okay. I don't hate Gibbs for Laporta if you need a tight end desperately, but that's giving up on Gibbs. Let's be honest, Ben. It feels a little bit like you're saying I don't believe it's going to sustain. So neither disapprove or approve, but I think they're even trades depending on your desire to fill that tight end position with a player like Laporta, or go, lighter tight end shopping or whatever. So this depends, bro. 2 QB, Howell, K9, and J. Dot for Burrow, Javonte Myers. Howell, K9, and Jahan Dotson for Burrow, Javonte Myers. Give me Burrow, Javonte Myers on the thought that Javonte's closer to K9 banged up in his situation than Howell could ever be to Burrow, even though Howell's filled in an admirable way. But you're not talking about the past. We're talking about go forward, and I'm going to take Joseph Cigar smoking freaking Burrow. People are getting burrowed left and right, and people are going to remember it.
Get burrowed.
Go Burrow, baby. Go Burrow. Go Burrow or go home. T-Law or Stroud this week.
Warning. Warning. Smitty is approaching.
You know, there's a couple things that...
Warning. Warning. Threshold unstable.
Alert. Maximum levels reached. Prepare for transformation. Alert. Maximum levels.
Time for a Smitty rant.
Here we are. Here we are. Look, what does Stroud have to do? I don't understand when someone comes in and says, and who is this that said this? Was it? It was Perez. Perez, you dropped a super chat. So first of all, to the freaking moon. Okay, I believe we all have thick skin here. I believe we can all be honest with each other in here too, right? Right, Perez? I don't understand. I don't get it. What does he have to do for you to want to play him? And it's quite crazy to me, borderline at least, to sit a man that just scored 5 touchdowns. And then everybody's talking about is the next Joe Montana, which I think people are overdoing to some degree. But the only way, Perez, is if you sat him last week and you're justifying your decision last week by putting him in your lineup or not putting him in your lineup this week. That's the only explanation. Think about it from the psychology and fantasy football perspective that I love to bring you. There's no way, Perez, you started him last week. Zero chance, Perez. Zero chance. Tell me right now that you started him last week. And it's okay if you didn't. I'm not mad at you for benching him last week. I'm just trying to prove a point that you're in your own way right now. You're trying to justify why you didn't start him last week by benching him this week and being right about it. Then it's not so wrong because it just was weird. It's unlucky. But you can't do it twice in a row, Perez. You can't do it twice in a row. What more has he got to do? What more does he have to do to get into your lineup? It's not like you got a Joe Burrow. And I like T-Law. It is what it is. We adjust and adapt. Perez, let me know if you really benched him. Perez, where are you? I want to know if Perez benched him or not. He's not answering. Perez, don't get mad at me. Perez, you there, pal? Let me answer this super chat from Perez. Perez, start Stroud. Do it live.
You've just been Smitty approved.
Now watch T-Law go have a 5 touchdown game and Stroud has a 1 TD, 2 interception game. and then Perez is going to be back in here just coming for me strong style. Perez, where are you? Perez, don't feel bashful. Everybody takes a lap once in a while. And honestly, like I said, I could see this like totally backfiring on me. And then I'm going to be taking a lap. Kyler, Fields, JT, CMC, Rashad White, James Cook, Olave, Amon-Ra, Puka, Tank, Achane, Laporta, Garrett Wilson, 8-1, half PPR. Just stay put. Could I make a move? Where's Perez? Perez ain't coming back. I'm sorry, Perez. You know I love you, pal. Kyler Fields, I mean, you kind of got to let that ride. I mean, I guess you could do a Kyler and potentially... I mean, you could do Kyler and Garrett Wilson for Mahomes. You could do Rachaad White and Kyler for Mahomes. I'd try those for sure. But JT, CMC, Olave, Amon-Ra, Puka, Achane, Laporta, you don't need to do a thing. Would I try and trade Rachaad White and let's say Garrett Wilson for, one of these monsters on screen? Like, would I try and do that for, let's call it, I mean, I know you got Puka, but for Cooper Kupp, yes. Would I do it for Jamar Chase? Yes. Would I do it for Pollard, maybe? I mean, some would say they'd rather have Rachaad White than Pollard, so I don't know if Garrett Wilson's, you're giving up too much, but James Cook and Rachaad White, both for Pollard. If that Pollard owner is struggling and they're worried about him, they got only the one running back, Pollard. That's an interesting look. But I would say Rachaad White and Garrett Wilson together to get you a Diggs, to get you a Chase, to get you a you've got Amon already, so like, yeah, it's Diggs, it's Lamb. If you think Lamb's good enough, but you're reaching high, you're going sky high to get that player. It's got to be somebody top 5 at their position. Zach Charbonnet or Mitchell off the waiver wire. You need both of them, Michael. Drop your kicker, pick up both, and make a trade. I can't even decide that one for you because you can't leave either one of them on the waiver wire. Thomas, K9 for Deebo or K9 plus Watson for Deebo. K9 for Deebo, or so you're saying if they say no, do you throw in Watson? I could get behind that. I could 100% get behind that. I know it sounds like we're selling low. I would try and get more. I don't know that you need to give up more. I love the idea of getting Deebo right now, but I feel like a running back has more value. So I'm going to say I like the idea. I like where you're headed, but I think you're the one that needs to get more. I think you throwing in more doesn't feel proper. I think that's too much, my guy. This $2 hauler, start and sit this week, Addison or Ridley. I'm going to go Ridley, but it's really close. And it's tough to even know what the matchup means. The Niners don't really mean the Niners anymore in terms of the defense. Then again, do they bounce back this week? We don't know, but I would probably start Ridley. Looking to improve my QBs, T-Law and Geno. I want to get Tua off a guy who has Ridley. Should I try and trade him Gibbs for Tua and Ridley? And if needed, should I throw in Flowers? So you're going to trade him Gibbs for Tua and Ridley? I would take that. If you need Tua badly, this is a great move. And it doesn't, even if Gibbs does well, it doesn't matter. You're going to do well on top of him doing well. So it's going to be fine. It's going to break even in a worst case scenario, especially if you get Ridley. And if you got to throw in Flowers, you got to throw in Flowers. Hey, Smitty, Keaton Mitchell is still available on waivers. Should I drop McBride? I already have Kincaid. Yeah, I would say Mitchell's got more appeal than McBride for really anybody's team. Absolutely. $10 hauler to my boy B. Ruckus, appreciate you. 12-team PPR, 2 trade offers. Chase for Walker and Cup. I love that. I take that. Swift and Puka for Amon-Ra. I like the other one. And I smash it. I like it, bro.
You've just been...
That first one is baller, bro. It's absolute glory. Do it live. Matthew, my man. Full PPR, 5 and 4. Kyler, Howell. Pollard, Achane. Keep Pollard, don't sell him low. Tyreek, Chase, Deontay, Taysom, and then your bench. I like this team. Any moves you make, you're dismantling it. I would keep it together. This is a team that can, yeah, you're 5 and 4, but you can come on strong in the playoffs. I'm fine with it. I think it's a really good squad. There's not much to really move. You don't really have a bunch of bench talent to trade anyway, so you're getting rid of lineup pieces. And what are you really gonna get at this point? I'm saying stand down. That's a good team.
Alert. Stand down order in effect.
A very easy team. Trade AK-41 Kamara for Bijan Hollywood or Hall Achane. You telling me you could trade Alvin Kamara for Breece Hall and Achane?
just been Smitty approved.
I mean, I'd trade Alvin Kamara for Achane straight up. But you're telling me you're going to get both of them? I'm asking you, where do I sign? Where do I sign? You show me a pay stub with Achane and Breece Hall on it. I'll quit my job right now and I come work for you. Parker, appreciate you. Trade. Oh, that was the same one. Oh, man, I just got rid of the other one. Hold on, Parker. This is Joe. Joe, appreciate you. Joe says, who would you rather have all year, Waddle or Hollywood Brown? Probably Waddle, but it's got its risks, my guy. It certainly does. This one right here is from TV. Send CMC for JJ, JT, Moss, or CMC, Puka, Monty, Kyron for JT, Ridley, Deebo, JJ, and Hall. This is, how do I evaluate this? This one seems crazy, bro. CMC, Puka, and Kyron for JT, Ridley, Deebo, JJ, Hall. I don't even know how to digest this, bro. This is weird. This is weird. I feel like we're just taking each other's teams. CMC for JJ, JT, Moss. I don't know that I do that one because you don't know what JJ is. It's tempting, but you don't know what JT is, and so there's too much uncertainty there. CMC, Puka, and Kyron. CMC crushes everybody on the other side of the trade. Puka and Kyron feel equivalent to JJ and Hall. I mean, and then so it's like Ridley and Deebo topping it off for Monty. Or no, that was the other trade. It was CMC, Puka, Monty. Yeah, so Monty. No, I'm keeping the CMC side. Very confusing, but I'm gonna say when in doubt, just say no when someone's trying to acquire your CMC, unless it's very that trade's crazy, bro. It's crazy, insane. 4 and 5: Burrow, Gibbs, Pollard, Ayuk, Higgins, Hawkinson. Achane, like it. Any moves? Should I drop anyone for Charbonnet? Yeah. I'm probably dropping. I mean, you got to drop somebody. Judy. What's Judy even? What's Judy up to these days? What are we holding Judy? Is Judy doing? What's Judy doing? He did have a touchdown in week number 8. 50. I don't know. Like, I guess I'd just drop. Who's your tight end? Hawkinson. I'd probably try and trade Ferguson somehow because tight ends are very hard to get. But I'd say like Judy or Rice feels like the cut here. I don't cut Watson. I don't cut JSN. Chuba's hard to cut because he's an RB getting work. But yeah, definitely. And as far as trades go, maybe that opens the door for you. Burrow, Gibbs, Pollard, Ayuk, Higgins. I like the team a lot. Devonta Adams. I don't know that I'm moving too much. Achane coming back. This is a hold. You got a lot of good players. This is a hold team. I don't dislike any of the players you have. I don't want to get rid of any of the players you have. So I'm going to say stand down and definitely grab Charbonnet. Do it live. Appreciate you.
You've just been Smitty.
Kind of a tough one to figure there. Tex Ninja, appreciate you. Love to see my Texans getting some love. Yeah, I mean, look, things are looking great for you. D'Amico Ryans has really got things put together there, and they love him. The whole organization's just feeling like it's totally different. Now, ownership's questionable, but the rest of it is from that point down it's a solid team right now. 6-3, 10 team PPR. Any trade suggestions? Watson, Fields, Diggs, DJ Moore, Wilson, Addison, Watson, Hall, Swift, Sanders, Charbonnet, Kincaid, Ingram. Trade Diggs for 2 for 1. Yeah, you might have to. No offense, bro. I don't mean that in a negative way, but let's see. Watson, Fields, not you don't. I don't think. I think you could be okay if Fields bounces back, but Diggs, DJ Moore, Wilson, Addison, Hall, Swift. It feels like you need something. So if I'm you, I'm going and getting get your hands on a target like Kupp, Puka, Devonta Smith, Deebo, Adams, Hall, Bijan, Taylor, Achane, right? And then once you have Hall, I've listed maybe one or two of the guys you had, but you get what I'm saying. Grab one of them, okay, and then start balancing the scale out. Okay, Diggs gets way more than Kupp. Diggs gets way more than Puka. Diggs gets way more than Achane. And so you grab a hold of an anchor, and then go to the team and see what else you can throw onto the trade, and make your 2-for-1 by going after those specific players that I just read off. Kyren also being one of them, and then see what second player you can get away with. And then if you got to throw in something small to just balance the scale back out a little bit, you can. Just be careful what you throw back. Thank you for the super chat. Would you trade Kyren for Deebo? I think it's very close. I'd rather have Kyren by a hair, but I love both. If you needed a wide receiver badly, I could get behind the Deebo side. So it's not a take-a-lap moment at all. If you needed a running back bad, I could totally get behind the Kyren side. So it just depends on your team need. Looking at your team here, Achane, Najee, Addison, yeah, you don't have the best receivers. I would go get Deebo, but I would try and get more. But because you can, because Kyron's got higher value. $10 hauler from Lewis. Lewis, appreciate you, my main broski. Smitty, I just traded my Kamara for Pollard, Schultz, and Rice. My team is Howell. Lewis, I don't like. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm always honest. Doesn't matter if you drop $100 super chat. I'm not going to be like, yeah, all right, it's pretty good. We'll be okay. I'm going to hit no if I don't like it. Kamara's got way more value than Pollard right now. I don't mind buying Pollard low, but I don't know that Rice and Schultz are really moving the needle. Kamara's got way more value than Pollard right now. Way more. You missed an opportunity to get a whole bunch more. I don't hate the player. I just hate the return value, cost of entry, the fair market value. But any other trades to make, I would say from your team, I would say Bijan, Brees, Olave, Logan, Pollard. I try and get Achane somehow, some way. I really think like maybe you could trade Bijan for Achane and get something. There isn't a whole lot to maneuver. Who's buying Brees Hall high? Nobody. Who's buying Bijan high? Nobody. Who's buying the quarterbacks? Probably nobody, even though Howell's been playing well. Olave, no one's buying him high. There's no way to really make trades unless you're going to actually sell low. So I'm going to say stand down, play it out a week, and hopefully, if your trade deadline doesn't pass, you can still make a maneuver. But Kamara was your sell high. I hate saying it like that because you super chatted, and I feel bad like hitting you with the honesty, but that was your moment to sell high on a player, and you didn't sell high on him. The other guys you got to wait on. You got to let somebody pop off. But don't be down on Pollard and to send him off for trash. I think Pollard bounces back. Maybe Pollard becomes a sell high for you next week. Matt O with the 6-month membership. My Sharbs Kamara for Achane Howell. Sharbs Kamara for Achane Howell. I'd rather have Achane Howell, but that's me. Do it live.
You've just been Smitty approved.
This one from Meg. My Aaron Jones for Tony Pollard. This feels even to me. I think Aaron Jones is on the rise. There's still some injury concern. Pollard, there's some situation concern. I lean even Steven. I really, really, in two separate leagues side by side, would want Aaron Jones in one and Pollard in the other. If I had to lean slightly, I'd probably lean Tony Pollard by a hair. But I mean, I love Aaron Jones right now as a buy low, a freaking fantastic buy low. Drop Jalen Warren or Kmet to add Keaton Mitchell. Probably yes, but who do you drop? I don't think I dropped the RBs. I think Jalen Warren I'm holding on to. Kmet is a really nice option, but try and trade him real quick because people need a tight end really badly. You should be able to do a 2-for-1 very easily. Like, hey, take my Addison and Kmet for just slight upgrade. Like, you could maybe get Puka for that. Take my Devonta or take my K9 and Kmet for an Achane or type player. You got Achane. Let's say, I don't know, just like a JT K9, if you just want to just get out of the K9 game or upgrade Lamar into Hurts or Mahomes or something. Part of me wonders if Lamar looks even better to the Mahomes owner right now, and you could give him Komet. You know what I'm saying? Do it live. All right, let's open the phone lines real quick. Call into the Christopher Smith phone line. And Will Snipe City's also honorable mention.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Very, very brief little phone sesh. We're not going to do a very lengthy one, but we're here to do it live. Pollard's value on the rise. Do it live. Pollard to the moon. Let's go. So anybody that traded for him that has Pollard, feel anxious about it. It's definitely a concern that he's not looking the part, but I believe he will be. I believe things will be good. 30 seconds. Doesn't matter who you are. You got 30 seconds. Young, spit it out. You got 29 seconds.
What up, Smitty? I just got on here. I just heard you right now. So my question earlier was more of like with the Steelers Jags defense, because I have Saints defense, but they got a bye next week. So it was more of not so much this week, but more of like rest of season. Who would you rather have, Jags or Steelers?
Jags, thanks you. Listen off. I'm going to hang up on everybody. Listen to the answer. Jags, Steelers. I'd probably rather have the Jags overall. We're going to stick strict to this 30 seconds. I'm hanging up on everybody right at 30. Right at 30. You get it, and then I answer I'm not budging at all on this one. Smitty's coming down with the fire on this one, and you listen to my answer off air. Jaguars by a hair. But, Steelers are tough. All right, hey, go. It's tough to figure because, I don't know, they feel like the offense is holding the defense back in some respects. Okay, go ahead. This is Terrell. You got 30.
Hey, what's up, Smitty? So, I got a question. So, in my flex for a standard league, I have Brian Robinson and Alexander Madison against New Orleans. I'm thinking maybe D-Rob because I don't know. He's been scoring touchdowns.
Yeah, I can't fault you for that. I think that maybe he is the safer move for sure. And I have a tendency to always go against B-Rob, and he ends up doing decent things. So probably the move to make, my guy. Probably is. I'll just say, all right. I got to hang up on you, bro. No. I forgot. 30 second boom. Up. He's gone. He's gone. No. There's no give me's on this one. This is a strict phone line. And I let it slip. I was getting into the mood of the conversation, and I didn't realize he was way over. Theo from Illinois, go.
Yeah, Smitty, how worried are you about Tua in the playoffs? Because his schedule is pretty harsh, and he's not done very well against good defenses and good teams.
I'm not as worried as everybody else. I kind of sense Mike McDaniel figuring this out. Plus, like, keep in mind, bro, Achane is like one of the best running backs in the National Football League, bro. In my opinion, he's top 5. Like, you take that component off a team, and it's a huge blow. Like, I know Mostert and the offense still runs really well, but that's a dynamic player that the defense has to focus on. Tua was like playing a Pop Warner team for Tua, with all those track guys all over the place. So I think it's going to help tremendously. Is there concern? Yes. But, oh, good God, I got to hang up on you too. Theo, listen offline. He didn't even talk though, so it's still my answer can be longer, but I'm ripping the person from the line, and then I'm going to answer as long as I want. But I would say like Tua feels like the risk is big enough that you wouldn't put him in like with Joe Burrow maybe, or you wouldn't put him in with the big 3 with Josh Allen, Mahomes, and Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Hurts. But I would say like he's next up with a combination of players. You could put Stroud in there. You could put Tua in there. You could put Burrow's. I guess I'll put Burrow slightly ahead of Tua, but Tua's in this conversation. And sometimes matchup we look so harshly at matchup, and it doesn't even factor in. Or we say something like last week, Kamara across the industry was supposed to be the number one running back in fantasy football. His matchup was perfect. Everybody in the entire industry ranked Kamara number one, and he had a bad game. So like I don't look at matchup like everybody else does. It's a factor when all things are equal, but I look at it as a potential opportunity for this team to be in close games where Tua is throwing a bunch of shootouts. So I'm not as crazy on that. Ron, let's see if I can do this with Ron Navy. Ron Navy, 30 seconds.
Yeah, well, I knew you were going to say Jacksonville slightly over Pittsburgh because that's what you always say. But you're not even considering, or you didn't consider the fact that the schedule going on. Jacksonville still got a lot of hard teams to play, like the Ravens, the Cincinnati. They still got a lot of harder teams to play.
8 seconds.
Than the Steelers have. Steelers have a better. So you're way off on that. Steelers all the way.
Well, I do. Thank you, Ron. Appreciate it. I do think that Ron, you hate the Steelers one moment and then love them the next, which is fine. I understand the ebbs and flows of a diehard fan, but I think everybody in here is going to say Pittsburgh has some concerns. Is this offense going to move the football down the field? Is the defense getting worn out, and which leads to injury? And then it's like, so I don't think it's crazy at all to think that Jacksonville could outscore the Pittsburgh Steelers. In fact, let me pull up I want to see real quickly based on this. I'll just pull up a random league here. I'll even pull up, I don't know what league has a defense. Let me see. Let me pull up this one. Does this league have a defense? Let me look at leaders, defenses, Pittsburgh. Let's see what they've been scoring lately. 7. Their big 29-point game and 21-point games, those were huge. So that's what makes me feel like they're going to rank inside the top 5. They're in the top 5, bye week out of the way. 12-7-5 the last 3 games. It's still pretty good, though. Maybe I do like them, Ron, about the same. Let me see. Jacksonville has scored 13, 10, and 12 at 6 and 21. So they've really come on strong. So I don't know. 3 games in a row with double-digit points. I mean, I think you can make the argument, but maybe I should have been more on the fence, Ron, looking at the way Pittsburgh's been playing. They're still very good. But 5, 12, 7, 21, 0, 11, then that 29-point game, and then 7. Points away from each other, they're about roughly 80, and they're about 12 points away. That's not that big of a difference, but I don't think that's way off, Ron. I don't think that's that crazy. Rock out, you got 30.
I got an offer for Aaron Jones for Kenneth Walker, but what would you add to it? Because I don't know if that would be enough.
You're trying to trade Aaron Jones for Walker?
No, I got an offer for my Kenneth Walker, and I would get Aaron Jones.
Oh. I mean, it depends on what he has, but like something small would do it for me. I mean, I like him about the same, and I like Aaron Jones a little more. Time's up, Ron. Rock out. It depends on what you could potentially get thrown in. Like if someone would throw in Adele, I'd take it. If someone's going to throw in a Christian Watson because they want to cut him anyway, I'd take it. But Aaron Jones is solid. I mean, they both have their risks. Aaron Jones, health concerns. He's older, but he looks like he's in a groove at least, and they want to feed him like crazy, and they did feed him as promised. So I feel like he's a little bit safer. So push comes to shove, Rock out. I'd probably just take Aaron Jones straight up, to be honest with you. All right, heating up podcast. You got 29 seconds.
All right, I got Breece Hall, Gibbs, and Bijan. I'm trying to get ETN because his owner's 2-7.
Hall,
got Ayuk.
Hall, Gibbs, what?
St. Brown.
Hall, Gibbs, what?
Hall, Gibbs, Bijan, St. Brown, Ayuk. I'm trying to get ETN because his owner's 2-7.
All right. Listen offline. Hall, Gibbs, Bijan, St. Brown. He's trying to get ETN. I'd trade Bijan straight up. Obviously, I would not include St. Brown. I would trade Hall straight up. I would not include St. Brown. I would offer Gibbs, and I probably would not include St. Brown. So essentially, from what you provided me, which is just this little amount, St. Brown is out, off the table. Unless you trade St. Brown for ETN and he gives you something more and you give him something, it becomes a 2 for 2, but I don't have that information. But that's definitely on the table, like St. Brown and ETN, and then there's 2 other players, Gibbs and let's say they have JT, or let's call it Bijan and Cooper Kupp. Then we're talking. So that's a possibility. But I would say that, you have a scenario here where maybe you could give Bijan and Gibbs, or Hall and Gibbs, or Hall and Bijan for ETN and something, but I don't know what they have, so I can't really complete this other than just tell you do not throw St. Brown with one of those to one of those players. Donnie Bravo, you got 30.
Hey, Smitty, I need to start 3 and sit 1. I have Bijan, Pollard, Gibbs, and Devonta. And real quick, second question, would you trade Devonta for Kyron?
Okay. Good question. Listen offline here. So he's got to start. He's got to sit one of these guys. Pollard, Gibbs, Devonta, Bijan. I'm sitting. Bijan's, it's hard to trust him, but it's also equally hard to sit him. So I'd probably say, like, you can't sit Bijan. Well, you could, but I wouldn't. Not sitting Pollard, not sitting Gibbs. I hate sitting Devonta, but now you're trading Devonta for Kyron. You take Kyron and you run. Just like that is I hate to say that about my boy Devonta, and I do love Devonta. I do think Devonta runs around, but Kyron's been a top 10 running back. You take Kyron and run. Now you got an even bigger problem, because now you got Kyron, but he's on a bye this week, so you address this next week. Maybe you make another trade next week. Now you start these 3 guys without even a worry, and you got Kyron sitting on the bench on the bye. Easiest question I've been asked all night. Jared, you got 30 seconds, pal. Go.
Smitty, would you trade Bijan and Tank Dell, or Bijan and DJ Moore for CeeDee Lamb?
Bijan,
David Montgomery, Tank Dell, and David.
Hold, bro, you're trying to fit too much into you're going to get no questions answered this way. Bijan and who for what?
Bijan and Tank Dell for CeeDee Lamb.
Yes, so take Lamb. Next question, hurry.
Bijan and DJ Moore and CeeDee Lamb. Which one would you do, him or Tank Dell? DJ Moore.
I don't know what the hell you just said, bro. Can somebody transcribe that for me? Let's go to Ninja. Ninja, can you repeat what he just said? Try.
I can't. He's trying to get as much before you cut him off.
Just a word salad. Just a mama says. All right, good try. Ninja, you got 30.
What's good, yo? So I'm trying to acquire St. Brown and Keenan Allen, and I'm offering Tank Dell, Chris Olave, and Garrett Wilson. Is that kind of a low? Ball?
Okay, St. Brown and Keenan Allen. What are you offering?
I'm offering Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, and Tank Dell.
All right. Listen offline. Thank you, Ninja. Appreciate you. Okay, so St. Brown and Keenan Allen for Olave, Garrett Wilson, Dell. Yeah, this is a bit much. Need to get an A for effort, E for effort. He did try. Who was the first one that we did this to, and he's trying to fit it in? It was a guy from Illinois. He's like, but wait. St. Brown, Keenan Allen. I mean, quite honestly, it's not that crazy, actually. St. Brown's the best player in the deal. He beats Olave out, but depends on your valuation of Olave. But I think Olave's fair market value is quite lower than St. Brown. So now you're at a deficit. and Garrett Wilson for Keenan Allen. Most would take Keenan Allen. So now Dell's got to come in and make up the difference on both of these. Not going to happen. So it definitely is not a trade that's going to get accepted. You got to add more to it, or you say to yourself, St. Brown for Olave and Dell for St. Brown, or Garrett Wilson and Dell for St. Brown. Dell or Garrett Wilson and Olave for St. Brown's a little too pricey, but it's understandable if you were just littered with depth. All right, Travis, you got 30. Go.
All right. Can you tell me which one of these trades you like best? In both of them, I would be giving up Walker, Charbonnet, Hawkinson, and DK.
Okay.
And I have Kincaid and Laporte.
You better hurry. 8 seconds.
I'd be getting Derrick Henry and Devonta Smith, or Amon-Ra and Javonte.
Amon-Ra Javonte?
Or Henry and Devonta Smith.
Amon-Ra Javonte. Okay, listen offline. Amon-Ra and Javonte. I'm sticking to this. I've been good too. I've been good. I'm hanging up on people. Henry. I'm trying to write fast. Henry and Devonta Smith, or Amon-Ra and Javonte. And he's giving up Walker, Hawkinson, DK. So I'd probably say Walker, Hawkinson, DK for Henry and Smith. Let me write this up top so you can see it better. I mean, this depends on Henry. Like, what do you think Henry's gonna do? I don't know what he's gonna be going forward. There's a chance that he somehow kind of like skates by all year, and then he's like running in mud next year, and he just skates by as one extra game, and he's an enigma. He's a case study of how he kind of did it at 29 to a degree, but like not like first round value or second round really, but like he was really solid at the end. It's possible. Walker's the concern. You have Sharps, and I like that you have the combo. DK's a question mark. Hawkinson's value definitely goes down, but how much we'll see. Dobbs loves throwing to the tight end. He was great with McBride, so he definitely goes down because Cousins' volume not being there is bad, but he definitely is still intriguing. Like, if this is a question mark all season long and we're getting nothing out of it, I understand the move. I would probably say I like the Amon-Ra and Javonte side the most out of everything here, if Walker and Sharps are question marks. But what if Walker isn't? What if Walker bounces back on a terror? Then it's like, then this is a complete lambasting, and this side crushes all the other sides. This is one of those tough trades where I just don't know. I guess at the end of the day, it comes down to Henry. I think if you believe Henry's a high-end running back too the rest of the season, this is probably the best bet. If you don't believe in Henry, and I'll quite honestly tell you, I don't really know what you're going to get out of him all year. And you also don't know what Javonte is going to do. Like, it really comes down to if either one of these guys pops off and does really well down the end of the stretch. These sides can easily win this, but man, I guess I personally would probably maintain and hold on the Walker side. That's a really tough question. That's a really, really tough question. I could be wrong because Walker could be banged up and not be great. Who the hell knows? Tough to say. That's one of the tougher ones I think we had listed. Here's one from Lucas. Lucas, $5 holler. Smitty, I just smashed accept on a trade. You helped me earlier. Got Pollard for James Cook in a 24-second. That's a smash, bro.
Got him.
That's unbelievable. Nice job, broski. Damn. That's a really good trade. Heating Up says Bijan, Logan Thomas for Achane. Bijan, Logan Thomas for Achane. I mean, Achane is my freaking top 5 running back. So Achane is the easy call, my broski. Achane is the easy call. Rock out, you got 30.
Yeah, they said Aaron Jones has like some kind of hamstring injury. Do I have to stay put Walker?
I mean, I don't know if it's just maintenance, my man. It's tough to say. I'll pull up some news on Aaron Jones real quickly. Walker chest did not practice. That's the extent of Walker's. We don't have any sort of update. And keep in mind that whole freak out about Aaron Jones like a few weeks ago. I'm not Aaron Jones. Walker. Oh, he's gone. He's gone. Rock out. I'll answer it. I'm sorry. You got to go. Appreciate you.
Okay.
I would say he sounded so sad. I would say, keep in mind that Aaron Jones, I mean, there's not a lot being reported on any sort of injury, and they did feed him, and they promised to feed him. I'm not too concerned about it, but hell, tomorrow could be another day. Tomorrow's news report could be a whole nother, concern. Just smash that trade. Lucas, you tore it up, my guy. Heating Up Podcast, appreciate you. Again, Achane to the moon. That's an easy call. Easy call. Chris, appreciate you. I'm 3-6, got offered Eckler, Devonta Smith, and Aaron Jones for CMC London. Eckler, Smith, Jones. Bro, as much as I love CMC, this is one of those trades where you got to take the Eckler, Devonta Smith, and Aaron Jones side. That's a crazy amount of value. And to be honest with you, looking at your team, I like Hall, Gibbs. I think you got Puka. It's a good team, Olave. But this helps you have depth to win. And for that reason, I take it. As much as I hate trading CMC, that's a boatload of talent. $20 holler from my boy, G Money.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Thank you, my guy, G Money to the moon. Appreciate G Money. G Money says the following. He says, "Hey Smitty, I'm 4-5, 1.5 or half point PPR. QB Love, Olave, Deontay Johnson, JT, Gibbs, Kelsey, Flex, Brees, Fields, Christian Watson, Foreman. How can I upgrade wide receiver QB?" I mean, Fields and Love together would have to go to the owner to get Mahomes, and then you give up like a freaking like Gibbs or something, and like even that, it's like then you got Mahomes, Kelsey, Olave, and Brees Hall. Which honestly, I mean, you could still win 1 week at a time with that team, but it really would take like a Gibbs to get it done. And I don't even know for sure that would happen. You could go a little bit cheaper route and say Fields and Love for Tua and just say, hey, look, you got Tua and you don't know what he is. I'll give you 2 quarterbacks. One you can start right now in Love. The other you're waiting on. Fields comes back, you go on fire. Or if the Tua owner has a competent backup, you could trade Fields maybe straight up for him, just off the spec that Fields is better. So I'd probably say that's how I would evaluate that situation, G Money. As far as any other trades, I would say, you could divide and conquer Kelsey once he pops off. I don't know if your trade deadline's this week. I assume it's not, but that might be an opportunity for you. You can't really sell high on Brees. You can't sell high on anybody else. So it really is Kelsey bouncing back for next week or that quarterback move. And I do like Tua a lot. I think he's a great buy low. Bijan are really too much for Jamar Chase. I would try and get something back, Slayer, but no, it's not too much for him at this point. But certainly could look bad later. I'm not saying that. Bijan has to get on his horse, though. $20 hauler from Michael.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Michael to the moon. Michael says QB Dobbs, Tua, Aaron Jones, Najee, Charbonnet, Spears. Mute yourself, rock out if you could. A lot of moving around. Achane, Kyron Williams, Sutton, Addison, Pickens, Olave, Kincaid. My record's 3-6. Need to make a move now. Who do you think I could trade? Maybe you trade. I mean, if you could start Aaron Jones, Achane, and Kyron all together, you don't really have a lot to trade unless you're trading Aaron Jones for a Brees Hall because he had a bad game for JT or Bijan, and you get the additional wide receiver bump from Addison or Pickens into, let's call it Deebo or higher. Maybe somebody even higher than that. This is just an example, but like Adams, perfect example. If you could get Adams and a potential RB quote downgrade that you actually still really like. Let's say it's Bijan and Adams for Aaron Jones and then Addison. That 2-for-2 move might be your way out of that situation, way into the positive. And Thomas with a $2 hauler, Olave for Metcalf. I'd rather have Olave. I know a lot of people are panicked on Olave, but he's still getting targets, and I still like him a lot. Appreciate the stream. Struggling at running back 2. Would you trade Addison, my flex, for Ferguson, backup behind Laporta, for Mostert? 100%. Take Mostert. Even though there's some injury concern, I'd take the RB. Mostert, 100%. If Addison had Cousins, I think I'd be more wavering, What receiver would you compare JJ for fantasy output? Compare him to? I think there's no comparison because he could be like sputtering into the bye week or be, very slow moving. I think like the best example I could give you would be Aaron Jones and JT. Like they came off of their situations thinking that Aaron Jones was going to fire off, right? He didn't for 2 weeks or more. JT, same thing. Zach Moss blew up. I just feel like there's an opportunity for JJ to be absolutely electric his first game back. It's kind of why they wanted to hold him out so that hope is there. But if you want a comparison, like a concern that I have is that we're not seeing JJ until after the bye week, which is week 12, right? 10 he sits out, 11 and then 12. Yeah, so week 13. Did we say there's by week 13? Need a running back to complete my roster. The Bijan owner is panicking. I'm thinking of giving Higgins and Taysom for Bijan. Of course you are, because that would be a good move. I mean, good luck trying to get that done, though, Deuce. It's a cute idea. If you get it done, that's awesome. Left behind times, pair character punching the air with the fist and bump written on his knuckles. Appreciate you dropping the animated sticker that I just read out the description to. Appreciate you, pal. Caden, $5 hauler. Trade Higgins for Achane was accepted. Higgins for Achane. Jeez, bro.
Got him.
You're Smitty. No one's trading Achane. Smitty, nobody trades Achane. There you go. Thoughts on trades going forward? Hurts, Tua. I mean, if you're starting both quarterbacks, you're in the money. If not, you trade one of them potentially. That's your move. Tua or Hurts, and maybe you wait for Tua to pop off if your trade deadline isn't this week, and that's probably the move to make. Henry and Tua, Hurts and Henry, but Henry and Tua for an RB, Swift and Tua for an RB, Kirk and Tua, Kirk and Hurts for a Cooper Kupp or above. Those are the moves I'm trying to make, broski, and those are and Hawkinson, do the same thing I'm talking about with your quarterback. Do it with the tight end because you have two of them. And if you find a team that has a need for quarterback and tight end, you're absolutely in the money. Imagine trading Laporta right here and Tua with Swift, what you could get. I mean, go to the CMC owner, see what kind of 3 or 4 person trade you could send them if they're struggling. I don't know if they are struggling, but if they are, that's a way in. Smitty, first in 12-team QBs are bad. Love or K1? I'd go K1 this week, I think. But that's tough. I mean, it's a risky proposition. Rock out. You got 30. Go.
Yeah, me having Charbonnet, does that change it or just smash that trade with Aaron Jones for Kenneth Walker?
I mean, I wouldn't say smash it because there is some injury concern. He's an older player. There's some reports saying maybe he's dealing with something. Other reports aren't mentioning anything. NBC Sports isn't mentioning an injury at all. So I don't really know how serious to take it yet. But I mean, Walker's dealing with an injury. I don't know. It's an even Steven proposition. It's kind of like trust your.
Yeah, Charbonnet too.
I'd say trust your gut. I mean, Aaron Jones is getting the volume. Walker is not. Not that can't change, but chat, can we get a vote on that? Chat, vote on that. Appreciate your rock out.
Okay.
Chat, vote Aaron Jones or Kenneth Walker. Please vote for rock out, please. And let's see, $10 hauler, Christian. Thank you, Smitty. 6-3, second place, 0.5. Have Hurts and Kyler Murray, QB. Swift, Gibbs, Kyron. at running back. Okay, Swift, Gibbs, Kyren at running back. Swift, Gibbs, Kyren at running back. Hill. Then you got JB, Kirk, Collins, Andrews. How can I add depth? I mean, you're probably needing to move one of the quarterbacks. Honestly, I mean, your team's got a solid core to it. You got Andrews, you got AJB, you got Kirk's solid, you got Kyren coming back, Gibbs, Swift. I'm trying to move like Kyler Murray. You may have to wait a week with Swift to get one slightly better RB. Like an Achane, which I don't think you have. Like an Achane. I'd do it now if you could. And then if you needed to bank on Kyler and trade Hurts for it, you could potentially do that as well. But I much prefer you trade Kyler Murray and Swift or Kyler Murray and Gibbs for Achane. And if you can't go that route, Kyler Murray and Swift for Cooper Kupp right now, I think is something that you could definitely do and that could be doable. All right, real quickly, Draven. We got Draven on the phone. Draven, we got a new test for you. Okay? A new test. Don't say anything yet, Draven. You're calling in. You're pretending to call into Arthur Smith's office. And his secretary answers the phone. All right, Draven? Ring, 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 ring. Hello, this is Arthur Smith's secretary, Maggie. How can I help you? Arthur's not in the office right now, but I can pass along a message. I've got a sticky note right now. Go ahead.
I don't know if your sticky note's going to be long enough for this, but I need you to relay a message and tell him the way he uses Bijan is absolutely, completely disgusting. He did shave his mustache, so he's doing something in the right direction. All he has to do now is use Bijan. I know that Tyler I don't know, I guess he owes money to Tyler Agio, and he's like, let me just use him, and I don't have to pay him back. That's basically what's going on right now. But he needs to use his best weapon, and if he's not going to use his weapon, you need to be fired. That's it. I mean, he's a piece of trash. Piece of trash, never going to be anything. They only gave him the job because they felt bad for him, but he needs to be gone.
That's a lot to write down, Draven. Draven, I have another question for you. Did you also want to leave a message for his wife?
Oh yeah, yes I do.
Go ahead.
I'll tell his wife this. He don't know how to use his weapon. I know how to use my weapon. Hit me up.
Draven to the moon.
To the moon.
All right, Draven, you got 30 seconds. Go.
Okay. Sam Howell this week, or should I take a chance? Again, I'm 2-7, can't win a game. Put in Kyler Murray for the heck of it.
Chat, let's give Draven a vote. Kyler Murray or Howell? Howell or Kyler Murray? Give Draven your vote. Draven, appreciate you. Listen to watch the answer in the chat. Appreciate you. Oh boy, Draven dropping fire. Dropping fire, Draven. I'm having Draven leave all my voicemails moving forward. Straight up. Draven's got that dog in him. When he needs to leave a voicemail, Draven leaves a voicemail. Okay, let's go with the vote here. We got Howell, Kyler, Howell. Seems like Howell is getting the vote for this week, Draven, and you're waiting and seeing on Kyler. But it's tempting. I think Howell's probably earned the nod. I traded Ford and Fields for Cooper Kupp. I could get behind that. Ramel, that's a fantastic trade.
Got him.
Draven to the moon. All right, everybody. I'll see you all tomorrow or maybe tonight if news breaks. Appreciate you all. Thank you to all my super chatters. You guys absolutely rock. We got Al from New York. You got 10 seconds because I'm out the door. 10 seconds. 10, 9.
Smitty, do I trade Diggs for Kamara?
Diggs for Kamara? No. Diggs has more value. Al, appreciate you. You got to get more. But I don't mind where you're headed, but you got to get more with that. There's definitely not a move I would make. Appreciate you all. We got one $20 hauler from Perps coming in strong.
Alert. Super chat alert.
And Ron, if you want to call back and yell at me about the Steelers for 10 more seconds, you can if you get in on time. Appreciate you all. $20 hauler, Draven, the man, the myth, the legend, the Smith, to Smith's front door. That dog will hunt. Howl. He says go howl. Perps to the moon. Appreciate Perps dropping the 20 wad. Appreciate all my $20 hauler peeps in the building. We had a number of them today. We had Ron Navy with the $20 hauler. We had a couple others. We had Ron Navy with the $20 hauler. Let me see if I can see the color difference. My blue light blocking glasses have completely destroyed my ability to see any color at this point. It usually takes me a good 10-15 minutes to get my sense of color back. But let me see if I could find them. I got Ron Navy with the $20 hauler. I got G Money with the $20 hauler. Michael Russo with the $20 hauler. Perps just dropped his $20 hauler on the screen. Perps, appreciate you. I think I've got them all. If I missed anybody, it's the glasses. I apologize. Ron, you got I'll give you a full minute.
Well, you still didn't look at the strength of schedule left. Jacksonville's got a lot harder opponents than the Steelers got.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying there isn't I'm not saying there isn't an argument.
Number 2 in turnovers of everybody. So
yeah, but
your chances are better with the Steelers than they are with Jacksonville as far as getting the turnovers and getting the touchdowns.
I don't think it's crazy though. I mean, looking at the defenses, they're 12 points apart. So it's not like they're that far apart. In this format, I'm looking at, they're 12 points apart.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they're close. But,
yeah.
I mean, but I'm looking. But what my point is that Jacksonville has a lot harder opponents.
I know. I got you.
Than they do.
Yeah, I mean, but
you should have heard me earlier. You weren't on. This was earlier today. Taking the wife's chemo. In fact, she had her last chemo session today, and then on the 20th she gets her PET scan, and then the 28th we'll find out how effective everything is.
Prayers up. Drop prayer emojis in the chat.
But so while I was over to pick her up, I was listening because I got the new car, right? So it's got the Sirius XM radio free trial and all that. So I'm listening, and you've heard of Moving the Chains?
Yeah, I think
with Miller and that quarterback Miller or whatever. Anyways, I was listening to it yesterday too, and they were just like talking about the AFC North and pretty much just pissing on Pittsburgh. And so today they got me, and I called in.
Oh, I bet you called in.
I made their list, whatever list that is. And they said, but we like how passionate you are. Call back in, become a regular listener.
That's funny. That's funny, but I will say, I don't think you're giving some of these teams a lot of credit. Like San Francisco, Brock Purdy, maybe he's a turnover machine. Rookie quarterback Levis, I mean, maybe he's good, maybe he's not. You've also got Cleveland Browns. Who knows if Watson's even in the lineup at that point? You've got Baker Mayfield. You've got Bryce Young. I think the schedule for the Jaguars is pretty nice as well. It's a pretty nice.
They got Stroud.
Yeah, but that's one.
The thing is
Burrow and Stroud.
Deebo's coming back, so Purdy will probably get back on.
Can
you imagine not 4 games? I don't.
Yeah, but one moment you're pissed off at him though. I mean, I could see you would. After a Steelers loss where the defense got reamed, you come in and go, not that defense there and scoring a damn point ever again the entire season. And I could see you totally being on that.
I said that. What I do say is the offense is so screwed up, and I said they should fire the coordinator.
Yes.
Because their defense has to be on the field too long.
And that can wear down the defense, and that's only my rationale. If I had to say they're 12 points apart right now, they're going to be very, very close. I would say you make great points, and I could easily get behind either defense going forward. I just think the Steelers, I don't trust their offense right now, and I just wonder what that's going to lead to. I do feel like they scored 29 points at the beginning of the year. They have had a couple other big games, but I feel like lately it hasn't been there. Jaguars have back-to-back games with 10 points or more, so they're a good D right now. And they play against Brock, potentially Purdy, or Brock Purdy. We don't know which one's going to show up.
Well, Love isn't it. I'm pretty much. He's not the guy.
He's not ready. That's for sure.
He is just terrible. He in the fourth quarter he might do a few things, but for the game, he's just terrible. I mean, he's almost as bad as Zach Wilson.
I don't. Let's come on. Let's not go there. But I would say I'd say Love also is a victim of this play calling and offensive coordinator situation in Green Bay too. It is bad. It is bad. I don't think he's being set up well at all. But I'm not saying that's all the problem. I'm just saying it's not helping. I think Green Bay's crapped a bit hardcore on how they use.
Look how many interceptions he's thrown. It's crazy. It's just like, so, I look at the Steelers going off on him this week.
I mean, keep in mind though that Love had 3 touchdowns in week 1, 3 touchdowns in week 2 total. He had 6 total touchdowns in the first 2 weeks. Aaron Jones was in there for one of those games, and it takes defenses some time to adjust and adapt to game plan against a team that doesn't have an Aaron Jones. And like week 3 on, he was garbage. I'm just saying, like, let's see what he does. I mean, he's definitely better than Zach Wilson, but I don't know what to make of him going forward, and the team doesn't either. The team's publicly said they don't know if he's the future. That's a horrible sign. So definitely not looking up for him at all. All right, hey, Ron, I got to get out of here. Appreciate you. Prayers up for Miss Navy. Everybody drop it in the chat, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, I told you the dog made it through her surgery too, right?
That's good.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Prayers up.
Picture.
Yeah.
That's huge tumor, dude.
Yeah. All right, Ron, appreciate you.
Anyway, chat, take care, everybody in there. Take care, Smitty.
All right, later, man.
Talk to you guys later.
Draven, you got 30 more seconds. Go.
Okay, come on. We need an update on the 40-yard dash for 5K. I would make the
5K. You said 10K. You went from 20K to 10K now to 5K. I'm only worth $5,000 to run a 40-yard dash. Boy, you've discounted me in a matter of 24 hours, Draven.
Okay, we'll do 10K. We'll do 10K. If I make the graphic, please, can you just put it up? Just do it for us.
I don't know.
Everybody in the chat right now, tell Smitty to do it. Just do it.
Hey,
just put it up
hey,
on
chat.
the internet, and let's hit that goal.
Chat, from a scale of 1 being bad and 10 being amazing, please rate Draven's promotional idea he's provided me with. He called me up on the phone line here live on the show a couple days ago and said, Smitty, I have an idea for you. You put a GoFundMe up for $20,000 that goes to Smitty. Okay, $20,000 that goes to Smitty. And then on top of that, Draven says that all I have to do to get that once we hit 20K is run a 40-yard dash. I want to hold on, Draven. That was your idea. Let's not try and add to it or anything. That's what you said. 40-yard dash. And I said to you, Draven, that feels greedy. That feels really greedy to come in here and say, guys, give me 20K and I'll run 40. I'll run for 5 seconds for you. I'll run maybe under. Then we came up with a little tweak, okay, live on the show, and said, well, if I don't get under a 5 flat, I got to throw half of it to a charity. Now that was a good tweak that we had, but Draven, it's still a very greedy and awful idea, in my opinion. Who's gonna imagine a new viewer coming into my show and saying, hey, what's this guy all about? I've got to go fund me up for 20K and I'll run for 5 seconds if you guys all hit the mark.
Okay. Smitty, make
Hold
it
on.
5K and let's do like
Now
this.
you're demoting me
Once we
again.
hit 5K, if you don't hit under 5 flat, like if you don't hit 499 or under, you got to donate it all to charity.
Yeah,
All 5K.
we got a 11 out of 10 vote from HM. We got Steve coming in with a 12 out of 10 vote. We got a 5, an 8, a 10, a 10, a 10, a 2. Draven going down $100 a week. Yeah, it's kind of a mixed bag, Draven. Draven, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna come up with something a little bit more feasible. But it's a great idea. I think coming off of your graphic that you sent me, I think you're a little bit in the I gotta prove it situation. Draven sent me this graphic. Where is it? Draven made me an avatar and said, Smitty, I really think you need to upgrade your YouTube avatar. It's just outdated. He's trying to become my branding and marketing manager or something on the phone line here. And he sends me this and says, put this up. It's got my hat cut off. He forgot to stencil on a full mustache. It's got half a stash. And he's telling me I'm doing things wrong and I need to put this up. Honestly, I might need to put this up, Draven. I think the majority of the chat would rather see this than my avatar. I don't think you're really wrong.
Know what you should do? That little face, you should, when you make your graphic, because I know you're going to do it because I'm going to keep begging you, that should be your little slider. Like when you get a donation, you move the hashtag Smitty like up a little bit. That should be the indicator, like how much money you have got.
Here, let's
That's
do.
what you should use that.
Let's do this. Let's do this right now on the $20 hauler graphic. Let me see.
Alert. Super chat alert.
So here's what I'm gonna do, Draven.
Alert. Super chat alert.
I'll put it on my $20 super chat. So Draven, if you come across $20 someday and you throw it up there, Draven, I'll press this and you'll see your face.
Super chat alert.
That you made. All right, Draven, I gotta go. You can keep asking me, but
Make the graphic.
It's the worst idea I've ever heard in my life. Hey, everybody, attention. I decided I'm going to run a 40-yard dash if you give me $20,000. 12-man trade Mahomes, Chase, Eckler, Kittle for Stroud, Adams, Barkley, Gibbs, and Andrews. What in the hell are we doing, Burnout Boy? This is trading a whole team for a whole team. I'd probably rather have Mahomes, Chase, Eckler, Kittle. Yeah, I'd rather have that side. That's a really, really tough question, though. Olave or Achane? Come on. Mark, you've been in here long enough to know that Achane is a top 5 running back to me. It's an absolute smash. The fact that we even have to go there, I can tell you haven't watched the stream in a while, but I appreciate you very much. Draven, -10, Perp says he voted.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Thank you, Perps. Perps dropping another 20 watt on screen. Perps to the moon.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Perp says, I'm getting you the 10K tonight. The question is, can Draven run the 40-yard? Come on, Draven. Cheapen the idea. Not a good look. You can do better. Old half stash and eyebrow. Or better yet, every time Draven calls in, that image pops up like Lego Batman. That's actually maybe a better idea. Maybe we take that off the $20 hauler and we move it onto a Draven calls into the phone line. I want to race Draven. That's what I want to race. Draven, you versus me. I run 2 laps. I run a full lap around the track. You run a quarter lap around the track. You have to race me. Maybe we do 2 laps versus 1 lap. You run 1 lap around the track. I run 2. Smitty should have to run a 40-yard in a mankini, like a bikini. No, I'm not doing that. Thank you, Sizzle. Appreciate your super chat. All right, I gotta go. Appreciate you all. Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Live whenever news breaks. Deuces. Appreciate you all. Thank you, Perps, for your multiple $20 haulers. You are the man, the myth, the legend. See you all later.